Something told me that when I was going to do this video, by the time that it gets posted to my YouTube page, this would already be old news. What can I say? I'm always a day late and a dollar short. So I had planned this video to kind of discuss the different candidates for the general manager position for the Washington football team. But I kind of had a hunch that by the time that this video got published, we would already know who that general manager is going to be. And sure enough, we already know who the general manager is going to be. Now, he was not my first choice, but I guess it kind of makes sense for the connection, obviously, with Ron Rivera. And of course, I'm talking about Marty Hurney. He's going to be the next general manager for the Washington football team. Now, Hurney first served with Ron Rivera in Carolina. Started around, it was 2002. And so he was actually the general manager for 10 years in Carolina. And I believe he got fired after the 2012 season, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's when Gettleman came in. And then after Gettleman went on to go to New York, Hurney comes back to the Panthers and serves with them for another 3 years before getting fired yet again. Now, of course, the most prominent names that you're probably going to hear about that is tied to Marty Hurney would be Cam Newton, Julius Peppers, Luke Kuechly. So obviously, when it comes to high round draft picks, Hurney is not too bad. He can pretty much hit on some pretty decent draft picks there. I think the biggest concern though with Hurney is finding those diamonds in the rough, being able to find those guys in the later rounds that really turn in and develop into something great for your team. And that is one thing that, of course, I'm going to date myself, but that is what Bobby Beathard was great with back in the glory days of the Washington Redskins. And that's finding those diamonds in the rough. Those guys who nobody else wanted, but he brought them to Washington, and Joe Gibbs was able to turn them into solid players. And that is usually, to me, in my opinion, that is usually a sign of a great general manager. It's not just being able to pick the sure thing, first or second rounders, but it's being able to find those guys in the later rounds, and of course, finding the right guys in free agency as well. Now, what is unclear, and we will probably learn this in the next few days, is how much input will Ron Rivera have in the direction of player personnel. Now, we all know he's going to have the final say, but how much of a leash, I guess, is probably the best way to put it, will Hurney have as far as going out and finding, the personnel for this team? I believe that sometimes people are better when they work as a team. And what I'm saying is that this was, and I'll kind of get off on this tangent for just a bit, but this was something that people were going to really find out this year when Tom Brady went to the Bucs. How was New England going to be able to fare without Tom Brady? And on the other hand, how was Tom Brady going to fare without New England? And of course, we're seeing that Tom Brady is faring just fine without New England. Meanwhile, Bill Belichick and the Patriots didn't make the playoffs this year. So the point I'm trying to make is maybe it's one of those things, if we're thinking on the optimistic side of things, that together with Ron Rivera and Marty Hurney, that together working as a unit on player personnel, maybe they'll have what it takes to kind of complement each other's ability to go out and find the right personnel for this team. Obviously one task, the biggest task that Hurney is going to have to do for this team is find a quarterback. And This may be a little controversial, and you know me, I'm burgundy and gold through and through. But if they go out and they grab Cam Newton, because it seems to be such the obvious choice, you know, now that Hurney is in Washington, and of course Ron Rivera is the coach, that they would go out and pick up Cam Newton, and that it may happen. I don't know if I would like that move or not. If it happens, of course I'm going to support Cam Newton. I liked Cam Newton when he was in Carolina. You know, I really did. I mean, he off the field, he does a lot for charity. He does a lot for children. I mean, he has a soft heart for that stuff, and that's a high character type of guy off the field. On the field, he has really regressed after the injuries he has had in the last few years. I don't know if he has anything left in the tank. Honestly, I'd probably just stick with Alex Smith, but or either, you know, go with Taylor Heineke. That seems to be the popular choice here lately. Having said all that, it'll be interesting to see what Hurney does at the quarterback position, because we have got to get that position solidified. If we can find the quarterback of the future, we may have with Taylor, but I'm going to make another video on that, explaining why that may or may not be the case, and that will be coming in the next few days. But for now, I'm not quite sold on this partnership. I was really wanting Martin Mayhew, because I felt that Mayhew has the talent, has the eye for finding top-notch personnel. I think he did a wonderful job when he was in Detroit. I think if he could have came to Washington, of course, you got the nostalgia factor going on with him playing for the Redskins back in the late 80s. So, personally, I would have felt that he would have been the top choice for the GM position. But as we all know, a lot of times when it comes to the NFL, you tend to hire the people that you know. You tend to hire your friends. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's not a good thing. Remains to be seen. Obviously, we did need a GM, because I would rather Rivera focus on coaching and have a true football GM focus on that. And of course, you know, we already have Mr. Wright, who is focusing on the business side of things. So for the most part, this team is heading in the right direction as far as an organizational unit. That's what it is, folks. It's going to be Marty Hurney as the general manager. So what do you think? Are you for this move? Are you against this move? Let me know what you think down in the comments section. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a like if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't like it. I think we're building a pretty good channel here. I really enjoy doing these videos. I enjoy chatting with other Washington football fans, because like I said before, I love this team. I have been a fan of this team for 40 years. That is a very long time to be rooting for this team. With that said, I hope you guys have a great day. I will catch you in the next video.